Hello, and welcome back to the Gimme That podcast. Man, it has been a minute. This is episode 8. I'm here with
Gimme muscles.
Gimme Muscle.
I know it's been
a little while. I forgot who I was. I am Gimme Graunt,
You're the Gimme Graunt,
the voice of the Gimme That podcast.
the face of the Gimme That podcast. Great.
How many
face.
people do you think actually watch versus listen?
I think we were at a solid 11 views. Hey,
Shout out to,
our 11, the loyal 11.
those are the loyal ones. You know, I got to give credit to Kahari, our last guest. He actually threw the video link in bio in his Instagram.
Wow. So he went all in.
Yeah, and you know what I love about Kahari is that he kind of came in a little skeptical, a little nervous, and then afterwards he heard himself, play it back, and he was like, that was awesome. I had a great time. So any of you gimmies out there that are wanting to be guests, we still want to hear from you. You know, we have a kind of like a running list of people that we need to get on the show, and we want to be more proactive about it. But if you're afraid, we're ready to bring you on and prove you wrong that it is a great time to podcast.
It really is a great time to podcast. And this is what I love about the brand is that when people do come on as a guest experience, and have that guest experience, they feel like they have ownership of the podcast. Case in point, Kahari putting link in bio. You know, he feels part of the Gimme Gang, and we want all of our Gimmies to feel like they are part of the Gimme Gang. So it's not just limited to us. It's for the Gimme Nation.
We do it for the fans.
Always for the fans.
So we are, we are recording this episode, new location. We're actually in my apartment, and we're without a couple of our regulars. It's just Gimme Graunt, Gimme Muscles today. This is actually a little bit of a roommate reunion.
Yeah.
We used to be the Bungalow Boys. We lived in an apartment called the Bungalow. Honestly, if you're a listener to the Gimme That podcast, you've probably been to the Bungalow.
Yeah. And if you haven't, we want this podcast to feel as if it's the bungalow.
If it's your digital bungalow.
Your digital bungalow, as Grant's dad, Jeff Stemler's.
Yeah, my dad, when I said, he saw Gimme That podcast, and he was a big fan of the Bungalow and everything we did at the apartment, and he just wasn't feeling the Gimme That podcast. He's like, you should name it the Digital Bungalow.
And maybe he's not wrong.
Yeah. It's more of what the podcast is, but the name just didn't stick.
That's true.
So we've been kind of busy these past couple weeks. We had to take a little bit of time off, but we're back, and we wanted to get right into the podcast with a very interesting topic that we will explain later on why we got here. But we are going to talk about places where you have permission to be naked, but aren't sure if you should. And so,
can you say that again? Places where you have permission to be naked,
but you aren't sure if you should be naked.
Yeah.
And so let me give you an example. You're at a sauna. You can, I don't know if anyone's just like in there just without towel. I've never experienced it, but like you can just like, I guess you could.
Yeah.
Or you can just kind of waltz in there and you can have a towel on, but guys are kind of spreading their legs and it's just like you're letting it all out there. Are you comfortable? Like you personally, would you be that guy?
So I feel like I have a secret when I do that, that only I know, but at the same time, anyone could find out.
Oh my gosh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You feel a little dangerous.
A little dangerous. Recently, and by recently, I mean 2019, because that's when the pandemic wasn't here. We got gym memberships, and we really got this gym membership based on the fact that the gym had a salt rock wall sauna. And so after our workout, we would go in, we would be in a towel. And Grant, I don't know if you know this, but I wouldn't have underwear on.
Really?
I wouldn't.
Well, then the secret's out, because I guess I know. Do you do it with me?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. Then I didn't know.
Yeah. And I felt like I was getting away with something.
Was the experience better?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Just more freedom.
And again, like there's something that you have that the other person doesn't know. And so it's more thrilling. Like dangerous, as you would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it seems like half of it is just all the mentality.
Yeah.
All right.
Have you ever done it?
Recently I actually went to a spa for the first time in my life. I had gotten a gift card for my birthday, so I decided to use this spa experience, get a classic massage. And so
Good birthday present. Would you recommend?
Actually, a wonderful birthday present.
Okay.
However, I warn you, once you've gone, it's hard to like not want to go again. And it's pricey. It's expensive. An 80-minute massage was $180.
Wow.
So, but it is great, especially if you're in like a labor intensive job that, really gets your body sore on the reg.
Wow. Keep talking.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they take me up to the locker room. The guy shows me everything and he shows me the robe and all that. And he's like, all right, so like you get dressed here and you put your clothes in there and then I'll meet you outside and, we'll take you to, the room with your masseuse. So I'm like, okay. So he leaves. And so when I walked in, there was a guy that had no clothes on in the locker room. And also like, because again, like in a locker room, you can be naked and some people aren't fazed by that. I'm kind of like, whoa, like, I don't know. I wasn't expecting to see a guy's butt, but there it was. And
were you like side glancing just to make sure when he was fully dressed that you had the permission then to like look fully in his direction? Or
I think I had the awkward moment of like, I didn't really know. Well, you know what? So I didn't know if he was fully naked or not because he had like a long shirt, but then I couldn't see any underpants.
like a nightie.
Yeah, kind of like a nightie. And
just
so
letting his bottom.
So
breathe.
I was I didn't know if he was actually naked or not. He was, and I think he saw me notice. Yeah. And then there was kind of like he was like, "You're not used to this, are you?" But we didn't like all in nonverbals. We discussed this.
Yeah.
So besides him, I'm declothing, if you will, and I'm like, so for a massage, because if you've never been, they don't like tell you. I think they just kind of assume I'm like, do I get fully undressed or am I just, gonna leave my underwear on? I don't know.
Yeah, good question.
And my thought being is like, crap, like if I go into this massage room and I like get on this table, if I'm naked and I'm not supposed to be, then like, I don't like, that's just weird vibes and everyone's confused and someone's embarrassed and I didn't like it. But then at the same time, like I didn't want to be a noob and have my underwear on and they'd be like, oh, like you need to take those off. And I'm like, it's just.
And then they have to wait for you to undress.
They have to wait.
And they know what you're doing in that moment. Yeah.
And then like, where do I put the underwear?
Right.
And so.
And at that point, you're just hoping you wiped well. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, you normally wipe.
Right.
And you think, and that was good. And sometimes you're like, perfection. I don't know what kind of person. I don't know what kind of person you are if you're I'm wiping until it is clean.
Yeah.
And sometimes you could be wiping a long time. Amen. And other times it's a no wiper. Well, truly a one wiper, but
right.
Ultimately comes out that you didn't have to wipe at all, which is amazing. But maybe you're a person that's just like you wipe and it's good enough.
Yeah.
You're not going to rash up.
It's not a good day.
No one's checking down there.
Right.
So, but you normally walk away from that situation. It's like, I could have wiped better.
Right.
But I'll be okay. So now if I'm totally undressing and I got this appointment to make, it's like, could I have wiped better? To be honest, maybe a little bit.
Oh no.
I mean, not bad.
Not bad, but
you could always do better. Maybe a wet wipe would have helped. I don't know. Nonetheless, back to it. I decided to go fully undressed. I was right. You are supposed to fully dress down as you go to the room, and they tell you to fully dress down, and then you're naked and you're under the sheets. Now, I don't know. The thing is even though you have a robe and all that stuff, you're in a public place, and more or less like you are naked. And that just, you know, some people might feel it liberating. I felt a little more like nervous.
Sure.
Also knowing that everyone else I saw in a row also didn't have clothes under. It's just a weird thing.
Yeah.
So that,
It's a weird way to feel united.
you know, I didn't feel the unity.
Oh.
Me personally, you know, maybe other times going back, I might feel it. Maybe if I was doing a spa day with some bros, that might be the way to go.
I think you'd make more eye contact with people, because I feel like that's what's lacking in those moments. Like no one's making eye contact because they all know.
Yeah, and also you're not supposed to, like, when you're in a spa, you're supposed to use your spa voice. And so like you can't like
spa voice.
Thank you. You can't really like strike up a conversation at normal volumes. You're just like, hey, how's it going? Like you're naked. You're naked too. It's like, what do you say to people? So so besides the fact of being naked though, I thought the spa experience was great. Here's my take though. I see a spa like I see a bubble bath.
Yeah.
You know, I know you as a bubble bath man, like you like them, but they're not like ritual for you either.
No, they're
a specialty. Like
yeah,
when the day calls for one,
correct,
you enjoy.
Well, and because I also make it an experience. It's not just a tub of water.
So to me, it actually is more of just a tub of water.
Really?
A bubble bath. I think I can sit for about 10 to 15 minutes and then I'm like, is this it? Like, this is like, it loses its, you know, sense of, you know, specialness or enjoyment very quickly for me.
Yeah.
And the thing about a spa is I think if you were doing endless treatments, sure, it'd be great. But like when you're there and you're getting treatment, it's expensive. You're maybe only going to do one or two things. People will just spend the whole day at a spa. I can't do that.
Yeah.
That's too much for me. It's like a bubble bath. I ride the high, but then I get out because it's gone.
Well, man, I just want to encourage you, give bubble baths another shot, because for me, you know, I liven it up with my lavender bath salts, get bath bombs, light a nice candle, turn off the lights a little bit, play some Christopher Cross, and it's just euphoric for me.
I feel like I'm just like getting soggy like a raisin.
Yeah, I get that.
I prune fast. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
I do prune
Actually,
fast.
no, I did know that.
I try to
Because
avoid.
when we go swimming, you're like a 10-minute in the pool guy, and then your toes are like raisins.
I mean, I can't help it. Like, I don't know. I shrivel up a little quicker.
I think you can if you took more bubble baths.
like
It's almost
build up a tolerance.
Yeah, exactly.
To pruning.
Yeah, that's a thing.
So, can you think of one more situation that you can be
Naked?
nude, but you aren't sure if you should?
Yeah, like we live in South Florida, so we're close to the beach, and it's not uncommon for there to be nude beaches. Personally, have never been to one, but I do know that there are people that frequent them, and I don't know. I think I would have a hard time doing it.
So, here's my thing about nude beaches. I'm curious, is it all about just like getting rid of tan lines, or is it really just some people really love to like embrace their nudity?
Yeah.
And almost want to like, you know, show off.
Yeah.
Because I think it's, you know, I don't think anyone's like, yes, like I want like sand in my crevices.
Yeah.
Like if you wanted to be nude and get a tan, there's probably like other places to do it.
Tanning bed.
Tanning bed, if you have a backyard with a pool or anything like that.
And a fence.
Right. But what is it about just putting it out there on display for everyone to see?
Even though I've never been to a nude beach, I'm going to speak on behalf for them. I think it's the freedom of being nude and probably
Tan lines.
But it's weird because, like, I burn easily. And I'm just thinking, if I was at a nude beach, I've never like put sunscreen there. Or for that matter, my cheeks. And I've never had to like rub in.
Can we talk about that? Just that as like a
a process. Like
if you are doing a nude beach, do you sunscreen before you go there, or do you like do those awkward rub-ins while you're there?
Yeah, do you like how often do you reapply?
I would hate to burn down there.
I would too. And then I don't want to get too graphic, but like it takes a while to rub in on your legs sometime.
Are you using spray?
Correct.
Is it lotion?
Is it lotion? I think it's got to be lotion because like spray, that's got to feel.
So I know you said you haven't been to a dedicated nude beach, and neither have I. I don't think they're like overly common in the States, to my knowledge, but South Beach is acceptable of like, you can be nude and it's fine.
Correct.
So yeah, I don't know. I kind of going back to like a couple of podcasts ago when we talked about like what happens when you like see a sex scene watching with your parents. Like I remember walking along South Beach like with my dad, and then you just saw like
boobies. I
saw like a woman topless just tanning, and then you're just like, oh,
those are some booby loobies.
And you just kind of like that truly throws you off more than a movie, because you expect it out of a movie, but like you don't. I guess you're not just always expecting to see someone naked on the beach.
No. Remember mooning?
Wow.
Yeah.
I was never the mooner, but I thought it was hilarious when people mooned other people for whatever reason, which is so dumb. It's just a butt.
It is. Why are we making a big deal out of it?
Also, why was it created as like I think people used to act like if you were mooning someone, like the other party, like the moonies, if you will, were like, oh no, like freaking out. Where now I feel like maybe when you were younger, butts were more like intimidating.
Right.
Now I'm just like, I don't know. I think after getting my butt tattooed, butts became a lot less intimidating to me.
Yeah. Like, what would you say was the cutoff age
for mooning? Well, no names mentioned, but we know we were in a car one time on the highway, and someone in the car with us mooned another car
next to us
right out the window. Booty filled up the whole window.
Yeah.
And I think we were like 20. I was like 22 or 23. So
yeah. Is that the cutoff age?
I think the cutoff age is probably high school.
Yeah.
But I mean, you also hope that like there's probably a range of mooning. Like I hope kids in like elementary school and middle school aren't mooning. It feels like a high school thing, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Like it seems.
But is that worse?
I think actually now it's worse.
Yeah.
Like in just a disclaimer, like this is not us like
endorsing
mooning. It's just I don't think we've talked about mooning enough as a society. It's the same thing with like, remember coning?
Yeah.
And
planking.
Planking. It's all these things. And I mean mooning was never I guess a viral trend. But it's like, what would...
No, but it's embedded in culture.
It is embedded in culture. Yeah. It was almost like, I want to get... It was either to... There was almost like a flirtatious mooning. Like, yes. I'm gonna go moon this group of people. And it was, I mean, let's be honest, it was usually guys doing it to other guys or girls. So if it was to girls, it was kind of like, we want to get their attention and be silly.
Yeah.
And then... I mean, I don't think guys were just like, yo, let's go moon those group of guys. It was just like, I think it was more of like a to the public.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting is I think we sometimes copy animalistic behavior because baboons, that's how they mate.
Really?
Yeah.
They moon?
They present. And
their butt?
Their butt.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, begs the question: did we come from monkeys? Is it one of those
my
things
gosh.
where we just saw a monkey do it and thought, yeah,
I get it.
I get it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I got to be honest. I hope all right, here's what we're leaving this off with. Are you hoping that mooning is something that in the appropriate, if it is appropriate, which I guess is a whole nother question. Are you okay with mooning happening during a certain phase and, age in someone's life as just part of culture? Or should we just be let's just not moon people anymore,
Yeah, man,
There's something you look back and you're like, remember mooning? You almost say it with a smile, even though it's such a weird thing.
Well, we have a mutual friend that if you remember, when we were in New York together and we were.
Yes, I do remember.
In the bathroom, he thought it would be funny to use the urinal in a way where he dropped trowel completely.
Right. And that's almost just
that's an off-brand way of mooning.
Yeah, because you're not it's almost just if you walk into it, you're getting accidentally mooned.
Right.
Whereas he could have done that and no one else walked in, and it's it was just an interesting way to use the bathroom.
He really enjoyed using the bathroom that way.
Yes.
I remember the laughs.
I remember the guy walking in and immediately 180. And we still won't mention names, but for the listeners, this was also in
Radio
City Music Hall on a tour. And so they're like, yeah, go check out the bathrooms. If you have to use them, use them. But they're also really old, iconic, cool, designed bathrooms. And so this poor man just walking in there, just being like, oh, wow, look at that. And then just looks straight at our friend's butt and just not about it, turns around and he's out of there.
Yeah. It was funny though. I got to say.
I think the thing about that mooning is you never know who you're going to moon.
Yeah.
And you don't really,
he wasn't like, I'm going to moon this guy in my tour.
Right. And you don't get to you don't get the experience of seeing their reaction either.
Right.
You just kind of,
because he was facing the wall.
Right. He was peeing. You can't turn around when you're peeing.
No. I mean, you can, but you're risking a lot.
It's not good for anybody.
No.
So.
Which begs me to my next question.
I love where this is going.
Yeah.
We're on a good train.
So, when you get done with a bath or when you get done with taking a shower and you're putting your clothes back on, are you bottoms first?
Absolutely.
Okay. Have you ever Winnie the Pooh'd it?
Dude, that's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
I heard another term in college that is not quite as eloquent.
Okay. What was it?
For the viewers, muting the mic real quick. So
yeah, that's way worse.
Right?
Way worse.
Someone asked have you ever done this? I'm like, what is that? And then they described it and I'm like, no, that's weird. Mm-hmm. I don't know for the lady gimmies, if that's, any different, but for a guy, going shirt first without bottoms, it doesn't sit well with me.
Does it?
No.
And is that only because you've done it the other way for so long?
It's probably like that. It's kind of, I mean, it's what are you sock shoe and then sock shoe, or are you sock shoe shoe?
Right. Are you asking me?
Yeah.
I'm sock shoe shoe.
Same. Like a normal person.
Right. I think psychopaths do.
Yes.
Sock shoe.
So psychopaths put their shirt on first before bottoms.
No, I'm going to try this tonight. After my workout, after I go running, I'm going to take a shower. I'm going to dry. And then I'm going to put my shirt on first before my underwear and before my shorts.
You know what it is? It feels silly.
It does.
What?
It's almost like wearing shower shoes with nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, if I were to do that, my first reaction is to just kind of run around and just go la 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 and just I don't know. I feel like a silly person, so it leads me to want to do a silly thing.
Which is interesting because, when you live with someone and you're married now, so like I'm sure you and your wife are very comfortable being around one another.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you were to have a conversation with your wife and you were just in your like bottoms,
Yeah.
and you didn't have anything up top,
I feel clothed.
yeah,
Though.
you wouldn't feel naked.
No, that's the thing.
And she wouldn't feel uncomfortable.
No.
But if you were only in your shirt with no bottoms.
Dude, okay. So
Yeah.
besides even wife, like for listeners, we live together.
Right.
I mean,
and you never talk to me with your bathing suit parts like exposed and your top part. Just
no,
covered.
never. No, I mean,
And
like,
neither did I do that.
no, I
to
mean,
you.
like, I'm a person that, like, around the house, I mean, sometimes I will just wear my boxers, or sometimes I'll just wear, like, boxers and gym shorts. A lot of the time I don't have a shirt on just because, like, comfortable that way, whatever.
Great body.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's really nice.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, it was just, I mean, that's just natural and never felt uncomfortable. But I mean, if I walked out one time with no bottoms and a shirt and just acted like everything was hunky dory, like you would have, your Johnny Muscles is actually the person to just kind of be like, oh, like, you good? Like,
there's a choice.
this is a choice. Like, you would actually just kind of go with it.
Yeah.
I don't think you wouldn't like it though.
What we would,
and
we,
you would,
no, we would talk about it later.
yeah,
yeah.
later. Okay, speaking of the right or wrong way to wear things.
Yeah.
We recently went to a Miami Heat basketball game, which was awesome.
It was awesome.
Johnny Muscles, Dr. Gimme, Gimme Gainey,
Yeah.
they gifted me for my birthday some Miami Heat basketball tickets. So we went, and something just interesting happened. Really not a huge deal, but we just kind of got to talking about it like after the fact. And it was that Johnny Jones,
Dr. Gimme.
Dr. Gimme, was wearing a Miami Heat jersey. And he just kind of pointed out on himself that he was wearing this jersey with a undershirt and then the jersey over top. And he was kind of like thinking he looked a little silly because it's kind of like, what is the proper way to wear a sports jersey? And this is really like any jersey, because I'm kind of a firm believer, like you see people that will wear them kind of as like normal wear, but I don't think that they're really meant to be like normal streetwear clothes. Like they're very much as a sports memorabilia that you wear either to the game or only in like a watching the game setting. It's
Right.
You know, you root for the team, you support your team, whatever.
Do you know what's interesting?
What is that?
I never see professional athletes wearing their jersey outside of the game.
I mean, it's kind of like taking your work home with you. You know, you don't want to do that.
Would it be weird if I played basketball in high school, and which I didn't, but if I did, and we had a really great team, not the best, but a decent one, and then I still wore my basketball jersey the way I wore it in the game, out and about in the public streets? Like, would that be weird?
I think that would be, I don't know. I think people would be like, did you wash it? Like, don't you get tired of wearing it?
Yeah. No.
Like, I don't know. I also don't know if they're necessarily like for everybody the most like complimentary outfit.
Why?
You know?
Why is that?
So, and this kind of goes back to like, how does one properly wear it? So like, we're not even like Johnny Jones was appropriate in wearing this jersey. You know, it's a great jersey. It's the Vice jersey. And so the thing is if you don't have an undershirt, and you're not necessarily like muscles, I don't think it like complements like your body that well. And also I'm a person that like, I like to have kind of, I don't know if groomed is the right word, but I like to have like groomed like armpits. Like
Me too.
I'm someone that, you know, I have armpit hair, but I don't like it to be like this kind of like really thick bush under my arms.
Like if your arm is down and there's hair sticking out.
Yeah, I trim it. So we did not see Johnny Jones's armpits that night. However,
he wouldn't let us.
We asked. I think if you were to wear a jersey, whatever you do, if I were to do it, I guess I should say I would want to make sure my armpits are, groomed because, I don't,
So you would wear it the way it's intended.
I think I would. The thing about the t-shirt underneath, it's like, I mean,
is it like the kid who goes to the pool and won't take his shirt off?
Where's the rash guard?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a rash guard.
Yeah.
Maybe. Do you think it's like
Well, maybe he's got sensitive skin and,
the nipples and the mesh of the jersey?
Like you just don't know if he's sensitive to certain fabrics.
So, okay, so I'm guilty of this. We ask a lot of, we say we're going to ask a lot of polls and then I don't follow through with it on Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask, like, what is the proper way to wear a jersey? And maybe it varies per person, but what is your preference? Because the shirt underneath, it's a choice. It's a look. He didn't look bad.
No, he didn't.
You know what? It does take away from like the sportiness of the look, though.
Did he look great, though? Okay. Yeah.
He looked good.
He looked good.
He looked happy. He looked comfortable.
He looked so comfortable.
That's what matters.
Yeah.
All right. So we want to know what you gimmies think out there. We want to know, is Johnny Jones doing it right or is he doing it wrong? And we want to hear why. And when Dr. Gimme gets back on the podcast, we'll hear his case, and I guess we'll just see if he's got more haters or lovers.
Maybe even we'll wear jerseys the way they're supposed to be worn, just so that he gets an idea of how to do it. Because I think he's just flying by the seat of his pants when it comes to how do I wear this thing.
I'll need to get a jersey.
Let's get jerseys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe that's the merch.
A Gimme jersey.
Gimme that podcast jersey.
I am here for it.
I'm actually, that could be cool.
Yeah.
Like
you got to wear it right though.
I guess we'll find out. We'll find out next time. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. We hope to be back on a regularly consistent basis again. We missed you guys
so much.
And this was a good time. What is the Gimme That podcast without, of course, our lovely sponsors?
Yeah.
The Gimme That podcast is brought to you by Henry and Ash Watches. Use promo code GimmeThat40 for 40% off your entire purchase. And we got a new sponsor. Johnny, tell them what we got.
Gimme That podcast is also brought to you by Wells Coffee Shop. Use promo code GimmeThatCoffee for 10% off all your coffee purchases.
And you use that at the register in the shop?
And the shop, yep. Just tell Brendan Wells, give me that coffee.
Give me that coffee. All right, you heard it here. We will see you guys next time, and we love you, Gimme Nation.
Love you guys.